Well, what if I told you that after Tron Legacy, we were going to get another movie entirely? No, it's not going to be Tron Artard. I guess this shows Jared Leto that he's not the messiah god that he thinks he is.
Let's have some fun.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed my content so far. I would greatly appreciate it. But yes, after what I have found out, and after Jared Leto has done walking on water for a few hours, Tron Artard was just another failure. We were actually going to get a movie called Tron Ascension, the Shelved Legacy sequel, and Quorra's story we never got. I'll leave a link in the description for the full review that they decided to do on this, but I wanted to touch on some of the bullet points here. Honestly, I know how it can be with a strong female character, but the way that this article worded it, and after reading it, I think this would have been 1,000 times better, and that's not saying much. One of the biggest things that Tron Legacy had is it had heart. The way you saw Clue squaring off with Kevin Flynn right towards the end was great. You felt the compassion, you knew the understanding. Kevin making the ultimate sacrifice for his son, Sam and Quorra rode off into the sunset. Quorra was in the real world. Now, we knew what happens in Tron Artard, but what would we had in Tron Ascension? Well, I'm really excited to see what happens to Quorra when she's put out into the real world. Olivia Wilde said in a 2015 Collider interview, "I think it's an interesting concept. I'm fascinated by all discussions of AI, and especially now with the virtual reality becoming something that's like a personal device. I think this is the time to tell this story." It was also suggested that Cillian Murphy, who had an uncredited cameo in Legacy, could return in Tron 3, reprising his role as Encom boss Edward Dillinger Jr., son of David Warren's villain in the original Tron. By December 2012, screenwriter Jeff Wigillo, screwed that up, had taken over from DiGilio, screwed that up too, but that outgoing writer had left behind an idea that would become pivotal years down the line, a villain named Ares. Well, if that wasn't interesting enough, the work on Tron 3 had already begun by screenwriter David DiGilio, taking over from Legacy screenwriter Edward Kittis and Adam Horowitz. Although a succession of screenwriters would turn in their own drafts, looking back at interviews with various actors connected to the sequel suggested that it would pick up Sam and Quorra's story in the real world immediately after the second film's events. Hey, but there's no reason to focus on that when we can get another bitchin' bike scene. But the way it looks from the article, we are going to get, and what we were going to get, was Ares in Tron 3. But he had a much smaller role, and he was actually going to be the villain. That would have been fucking awesome! There was a very different movie, Whittago told CBR, about the earlier script. That film was a real sequel, a real continuation of Legacy, and it was introducing a character named Ares, who was a much smaller role, but a real villain. By 2015, it seemed as though the production had settled on a script, and Tron Ascension, as it was titled, was well into pre-production by the middle of that year. Filming was set to begin in Vancouver, and there were reports that Jared Leto was in talks to play its antagonist, Ares. So from that alone, it looks like well over a decade, Jared Leto was already 10 years ago in talks to play Ares for the continuation of Tron. Maybe if he wasn't acting like a total dickhead on the set of Suicide Squad, people might have a lot more respect for him. But in case you forgot,
how about the gifts you gave everyone?
Yeah.
Rats, bullets, a hog. Where did that come from?
Don't forget the anal beads,
Who did you send anal beads to?
the used condoms.
Did not.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
Step back, friend. You can't just say use condoms and we're just gonna like forget.
I know it's a family show, but we can.
Don't worry.
We can educate people here. At least they were used.
Who did you send used condoms to?
Oh, everybody.
what the fuck? Let's face it, no one should be surprised about this at all. But things decided to get worse. Events occurring elsewhere at Disney, however, soon stopped Ascension in its tracks. The studio had suffered a string of expensive flops, including John Carter in 2012, a pretty good movie, I'd say, and more crucially, Brad Bird's Tomorrowland, released in May 2015, right around the time Ascension was being prepped. The later film, at a $180 million sci-fi budget about a futuristic hidden city, barely scraped its budget back in cinemas. The Disney executives began to have second thoughts about spending similar amounts of money on another expensive genre film. Yeah, well, clearly that played out well now. By this point, Disney now had ownership of Marvel and Lucasfilm, and superhero movies and Star Wars sequels seemed like safer investments than a second Tron sequel. Yeah, Good job on that one, geniuses. That really paid the hell off. If there's 3 things I've learned from being down here for all eternity, it's that the guarantees are always going to be death, taxes, and Disney ruining another movie. Now, if I could say anything on this, what I believe now at this point, yes, Tron Legacy, in my opinion, was a great movie. But for Disney, it wasn't the box office success that they all thought it was going to be. If it had made more money like they wanted it to, I think this could have been the original script that we were going to get. An actual Tron Ascension movie. But when it comes down to crunching the numbers, on a $170 million budget, only making $409.9 million worldwide, just wasn't going to do it. After everything all that we've seen, you can enjoy Tron Ares, you can enjoy Tron Legacy, hell, you can enjoy all 3. But unfortunately, the numbers didn't match up. Ain't that right there, Jared? The article finishes off with Kaczynski, who was the one who directed Tron Legacy, said that Tron Ascension wasn't canceled, but rather put in stasis. All the same, Disney clearly wasn't in a rush to make a sequel, and Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde were eventually released from their contracts. Hence why they weren't in Tron Ares. One person, though, who never forgot about Tron Ascension, though, was Jared Leto, a self-described Tron superfan. And clearly, what Disney has shown us, and honestly, what Jared Leto has shown us, is that he's not a superstar. I'm not going to pretend like the guy hasn't given a few good performances before. I will give credit where credit is due, but unfortunately, Disney hasn't realized that Jared Leto is honestly a complete fucking sociopath. With that being said, let me know in the comment section below, what would you have preferred? Tron Ascension or Tron Ares? Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I thank you all so much for watching. And as always, until we meet again.